At this point, everyone and their mother is making an upcoming top 1. It has honestly gotten to the point where I don't even care about most of them. They all just kind of blend in with the whole sea of just upcoming top 1s that literally only exist to be top 1. And while I hope to make a future video pretty soon about going through that and explaining why I think this is the case, I will give my top 10 least favorite or worst upcoming top 1s. At number 10 we have Eric's. This level pretty much represents this huge chunk of upcoming top 1s that don't necessarily have anything wrong with them, but just don't stand out at all. This one just happens to be my least favorite out of all of those levels. There are some parts where the decoration is pretty good, but overall I'd say it's pretty forgettable. And the song, atmosphere, and general structuring of at least the first half of the level feel very much just like a Slaughterhouse remake. That being said, this is by far my favorite, or least favorite, out of all of the levels that I'm going to mention today. At number 9 we have Adramalek. I will admit, Adramalek isn't a level that I hate as much as I used to. To me it ultimately feels a lot like Abyss of Darkness in that it really only exists to be a top 1, except this time it's hell themed. So automatically I think it's worse, because it's even less original. That being said, it is pretty low on this list because it still has potential to improve. The decoration is nowhere near finished, and if this level is ever finished, we could be so far into the future that top 1s have spiraled so far out of control into just an absolute dumpster fire that maybe this will look good by comparison. At number 8 we have Cosmos, or for your average internet troll, Cockmock, haha funny, whatever. Cosmos, just like Eric's, in my opinion has pretty good deco, except this time I like the deco more because it is space themed. I just really don't know why Cherry Team decided to waste their good talents on a layout such as Cosmos. Cosmos is a Slaughterhouse remake that was originally just sort of a cool gimmick because, oh hey, it's Slaughterhouse, but, you know, not. But honestly, this level started one of the worst trends in recent Geometry Dash history, and it's incredibly annoying. If it weren't for the fact that this is a Slaughterhouse remake, I would like it way more, considering that the decoration, theming, and the song are actually all pretty good. And it's also really weird because I honestly like a lot of Cherry Team's work. Pretty much every level they've ever made is something that I really enjoy, just except this one specifically. At number 7 we have the Thinking Space sequel, or Thinking Space 2, or whatever you're gonna call it. The Thinking Space sequel really just doesn't need to exist. I mean, I did really hold back on what I said about this level when I just talked about all the upcoming top 1s, but while the decoration is pretty good, I still think that this level just isn't very good in my opinion. Thinking Space is one of those levels that just isn't going to have a good sequel, because if there's major problems with the original level, then you can make a remake of that level to fix that, maybe make it harder or something. But making a sequel to a level that already has problems is almost always doomed to fail, because you either have a faithful sequel that is also bad, or you have a unfaithful sequel that is pretty good, but it barely even looks like a sequel. Another example of this is probably better off is Antares, because it still has some of the same elements of Arcturus, but executed much better, and with better decoration. At number 6 we have Wahru. So just like Adramalek, it does have some potential to improve, but I just think that this one is much worse. Because Exon has quite literally said he wants this to be his next top 1 project. Which is pretty much outright admitting to this just basically being a top 1 just to be a top 1. We'll talk about one of his projects that is pretty similar to this in a second. But honestly, this just feels like knockoff Orochi. I mean, yeah, because it has a similar song. While at the same time feeling like a knockoff Abyss of Darkness, because it has the same type of gameplay. I mean, Exon does still kind of claim to be legit, so honestly, let's just have him verify this. Next up at number 5 we have a Nemesis. A Nemesis is a remake of a Thanatos from 2.0, you know the level, currently being verified by Swyborg. Clearly the level isn't very fun considering that Swyborg has done almost nothing with it in the past, like 9 months, but he has finally gone back to playing it and says he wants to finish it up. Honestly, mad respect to him for just not letting the level die, and also not forcing it to be like top 3 or something, because the host quit the game, so what's the point? Besides, Skelly's Deimos is much better of a level in general. Honestly, this is just the most forgettable hell level ever, and probably won't get rated upon release because rating standards are kind of weird. And even if it does, it's just going to be another one of those levels that gets added to the list and nobody thinks about it again. At number 4 we have Abyss of Darkness 2, Xen's other upcoming top 1 project. When this level was first previewed, I wasn't too opposed to its existence, I thought it could be a maybe more fun or more interesting version of Abyss of Darkness without the same decoration and gameplay flaws. But I'm pretty sure that this is supposed to be a top 1 or like top 3-ish. So by the time that this is actually finished, it will be heavily buffed. And the way Abyss of Darkness gameplay works is that it's meant to be the hardest it can be. So if you're gonna buff that, that just sounds like an absolute nightmare. Literally just talking about this is a waste of time, let's just move on. At number 3 we have Corrupted Planet. This has the same problem as the Thinking Space sequel in that you are making a sequel to a level that doesn't really deserve one. The quality seems very inconsistent throughout in terms of decoration. The gameplay looks pretty abysmal, and it doesn't really feel like a Crimson Planet sequel. The only part of it that feels like a Crimson Planet sequel is the fact that it uses an Extroller song. Next up at number 2, oh man, this is gonna piss so many people off. I don't care. Riot's Demise. I know people have said, oh yeah, but Wavix, this is not an upcoming top 1, it's actually an impossible levels list level. Well, like I said before, this is actually an open verification, and very recently some guy got 31%, congratulations by the way, even though it's a horrible level, that is a good accomplishment, and quite literally said in the description, and I quote, "This level isn't balanced great but not impossible." I literally cannot think of a defense for this level. The decoration is mid, the gameplay is horrible, atmosphere theming trash. I know it was made for fun, but then why was it released to the public? And finally, at number 1, the worst upcoming top 1, you guessed it. Wait, hold on 1 second. Are they gone? Are they? Okay. It's Aquamarine, the level is so bad. Or I was hoping that maybe most of the Aquamarine cult aren't this far into the video. But I know they probably are, so if you're part of that Aquamarine cult, hi. Yeah, it's literally just a Coop in circles, but with no history, so it has no reason to exist. It's unbalanced, the gameplay's bad, the decoration is bad, it's literally just 1.9. Even if there was a redeco, you can't really fix anything about it. No atmosphere, no theme, the title has nothing to do with the actual content of the level. My dog could probably make a better level while snorting cocaine. So yeah, that's it for today's video. I'm going to try to upload a video just sort of going over the top 1, or upcoming top 1, like oversaturation issue I sort of have with the way the community views top 1s. Stormfly actually released a video recently talking about how top 1 demons are dead. Statement's kind of false, but I still kind of agree with a lot of what he said, so let me know if you guys want a video on that. And yeah, like, comment, and subscribe. I do have a new second channel, link in the description. I just post completions and like funny stuff. Most of it's pretty short, so if you're like bored in class or something, it's great to watch. And yeah, see you in the next one.